So you are the reason we lost the client.
Yeah, I remember we worked together. I think it was for paid content, right?
We managed paired campaigns as Admiral Media before Jessica joined, and then she in-housed everything.
We always said that even if a test wasn't successful, it was already a learning. There is always learning.
Welcome to Let's Talk Ads. We're here to push your growth marketing tips, fun and chats. Tune in, let's rock the show.
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Ads, the podcast with me, Andre, CEO of Admiral Media, an award-winning performance marketing agency. And today we've got Jessica from Paired. She's the head of performance marketing, and we will walk through all things, I would say, channel diversification, how to scale a subscription app across multiple channels, across multiple countries. And we will certainly find out a lot of interesting stuff here. Jessica, where are you based right now? I'm super happy to have you, actually.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me, indeed. I'm based in Italy, close by Milan,
Okay.
in Bergamo. Yeah.
How's that at the moment? Is it hot?
Too much, honestly. It did rain over the past couple of months, and now we are in the middle of a heat wave.
Okay.
Can't complain about weather.
Okay, but at least you're used to air conditions in Bergamo, I guess. It's definitely something I miss every time I visit Germany. It's insane. Like you're just cooking everywhere. Jesse, can you walk us a little bit through who Jessica is? Like, I introduced you as the head of performance marketing of Paired. What is Paired, and what have you done before you joined the team?
Yeah, sure. Again, hi everyone. I'm Jessica. As I mentioned, I'm Italian, and indeed, I lead paid user acquisition at Paired. Paired is a relationship care app for couples. The idea is to support couple in their day-to-day life in order to help them to stay connected and stay in love. Before this, honestly, my career started after my graduation in international finance. I wanted to be a broker. But indeed, I realized that the environment wasn't really what I wanted. There was too much high competition. And I decided to make a change. And I moved to London. And here I discovered performance marketing. I never knew anything about marketing, performance marketing. I never studied anything about digital advertising or how to manage campaign. So I followed some courses online, and then I got a great opportunity in Once, which is a dating app. It used to be a dating app. Based in London. They gave me the opportunity to lead performance marketing for the Mediterranean market, so Spain, France, Italy. It was super interesting. I learned everything there, all the basics about marketing. And then I fall in love with that, honestly. It was the perfect combination between my passion for data and also the creative part. I've decided to keep working in this field, in this sector. And then the next great opportunity I had was Bending Spoons. I moved back to Milan. In Bending Spoons, I had the opportunity to really work on different verticals, from video editing, photo editing, VPN, health and fitness. It was a great experience because it gave me visibility on how different products fit with different channels, and also in terms of approach to performance marketing was a bit better, more focus on testing, learning, challenge the status quo. I stayed there for almost 5 years, and then I met Jessica Michego. She was starting a new job in Paired. I connected with her, and then I moved to Paired as senior performance marketing manager at first. The idea was to kick off performance marketing for this app from scratch and then build the team. And also I moved from senior performance marketing to lead and head over the past 3 years.
Okay, interesting. It's funny that we managed paired campaigns as Admiral Media before Jessica joined, and then she in-housed everything. So you are the reason we lost the client.
Yeah, I remember we worked together. I think it was for paid content, right?
No, yeah, also, but we also did the Facebook ads and everything. So,
Okay.
but this is a couple of
Nice.
years ago already. My God, time
Yeah,
flies.
yeah. I think it was 2022.
You know, what is the big challenge you faced early on, let's say, and how did you approach performance marketing while you faced that particular challenge?
Yeah, tricky one. I guess for me, considering my finance background, there was 2 moments in my career that really shaped me as performance marketer. One was right at the beginning, I didn't know anything about performance marketing. I thought marketing was only about pitching a campaign, creative idea, working with PR. It was all about out of home, and I didn't know anything really about CPM, CPC, CPA, CAC, whatever. So it was super interesting for me to approach to this world, and I think once gave me this once app, the dating app gave me this opportunity. So it's where indeed I learn the basic for performance marketing, and I fall in love with performance marketing. This is where like the data met the creative part. It was all about the message, but also the analytical part. So I think this was the first moment. And secondly, the second big moment that really helped shape the performance market I'm right now is when I joined Bending Spoons. There I learned the importance of testing. Testing, challenge the status quo, think out of the box, and never rest. Always think about how to maximize profits. Find new way, be smarter than the competition out there, and also be agile. Try, jumping from a project to another, prioritize based on the expected impact. So I think, this is the other big moment in my career that really helped me shape the approach to performance marketing.
When you say being smarter than the competitor, do you mean in terms of like campaign management, channel diversification, or is it rather something like from the creative perspective that you are more that you're finding ways to attract users into the app that others didn't even think of? Is it more the technical part, or is it more the creative part?
It's both. Honestly, it's about be the first mover. In vending is always about not wait for other to open the way, but be the one opening the way, be the one thinking out of the box, and try to stand out there without waiting for other people jumping on a project and then this is smart, this is leading.
Let's
really
have
good
a meeting.
Exactly. So this really helped me, honestly, to become what I am now.
This is interesting. So I guess Bending Spoon already at the time was a bigger marketing team. How were you able to make decisions for yourself? Like, were you able to just say, "Hey, I have this idea, let me execute," or did you, what I just said, like, did you ask for a meeting, discuss it? So was it maybe contradicting your approach to be the first mover sometimes?
No, I think we had much freedom to really explore by ourselves. In general, it used to be, well, it's even now, honestly, it's really a flat company with a really few layer where you could indeed, if you had an idea, of course, you had to have the right assumption and then have you had to, let's say, come up with a sort of plan with the assumption, next step, and the expected results and how to measure them. If you had this clear in mind, then you could run the test and then bring the results in. And you had the whole freedom to do it by yourself, very honestly, with the support if you needed by other people. But indeed, the idea is everyone to be entitled to bring the change in the company without waiting for approval.
Got it. So basically enabling the team to just run on their own.
Exactly.
And then later they would be able to ask for forgiveness, let's say.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you have to ask for forgiveness often? Or?
No, honestly, not too often. I guess we always said that even if a test wasn't successful, it was already a learning. There is always learning, either with success and not.
Great approach.
But yeah, and then usually 90% of the tests that you run weren't really successful. It's all about keep testing, and then you find a thing that can move the needle.
Yeah, and transfer the knowledge to the next product, maybe even. Okay.
Exactly.
You're in the industry for quite some time already. When you look at the current state of the app industry, how would you describe it for yourself?
I think now the app industry is an overcrowded market where everyone is fighting for to stand out.
Too many consultants.
Well, too many apps as well, honestly. As well, plus AI. So you have to compete not only with other marketers, but also with AI. So now, indeed, it's becoming really, really high competitive market. And in order to stand out and to get user attention, you cannot just rely on all the skill. You need to invest a lot in the product, in the content, in personalization. There are so many apps out there solving similar needs, and you need to be better than them. You need to provide a personalized experience to the user. They are not anymore so easy to satisfy. They have demands, they have requirements, they know how to play this game. So it's all about, investing more on the content personalization when it comes to the product. And when it comes to the marketing side of things, now everything is about creative storytelling and also diversification. You cannot rely anymore on, I call them traditional channel, meaning paid social like TikTok, Facebook, Google Ads, Apple Search Ads, but they are getting more and more competitive. The price is raising. It's really hard to stand out, even in terms of creatives. We are copying each other, and it's really hard. So the idea there is to try to find other channels that we neglected in the past. For example, influencer marketing, connected TV, linear TV. These channels that were risky before because of, indeed, let's admit it's really hard to measure the impact of this channel, to track them successfully. But right now it's all about take this risk, exit your comfort zone and try this channel. But also in terms of funnel, it's not only about app onboarding anymore. You should invest more on web, try to find other way to onboard the user and reach also a different audience, provide a different experience. With web, it's even easier to play with the personalization, with monetization than with the app funnel. So yeah, I think I would describe the app industry today like this.
Do you see those diversifications on the product side, like app funnel, web funnel, monetization tests, storytelling in the onboarding funnel? Do you see this still part of the performance marketing team? Is it sitting in product team? Should they work together? How do you do this in paired? How is it structured?
Well, in paired, they do belong to the growth team. So we work together as performance marketing team and growth team, especially when it comes to web. We're working really closely, and the monetization monetization strategy as well and experiment, because indeed, if you are able to move the needle on the onboarding side, and the monetization side is going to have a huge impact on your scalability opportunity on performance marketing side. So we are really working together on this. I mean, it should. It depends on the company. Some of them, they have the growth team, and within the growth team you have the performance market and then people working around the monetization. Otherwise, in this case, it's more about having two different teams really working closely to each other.
And in paired, you have it split out. Like you have
Yes.
as the growth team. Okay, understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you see benefits and do you see advantages or disadvantages in either of the setups?
I think it's important to maintain a really high communication between the two teams in order to succeed. So, for example, we have meeting together. We discuss together about the next experiment to run, the results analysis, what to do next. It's true that it's two different teams, but indeed we are really working closely to each other. It's more about the ownership, let's say. So one is owning more about the campaign management, and the other one is more about the onboarding side, because indeed we are really small team. So if we consider performance marketing, we do have the creative team and then two performance marketer, me and another senior performance marketer. And for the growth team is one person with the support of the engineering team. So it's really small, so we need to be cautious as well on priority and how to manage the product.
Thanks for sharing. Let's switch back to the channel diversification. You mentioned influencers and everything. I just come back from a big ad conference, and I recognize that every time I go to some event or conference, the number of biz dev salespeople selling CTV as a next hype is increasing. Is that something that you have tried, CTV, connected TV?
We are trying it right now, honestly. We started exploring this option back in beginning of Q1. Every quarter, we try to take a big bet. Either is influencer, web funnel, connected TV. So we try to find a new way to diversify our strategy. And in Q1, we were planning this, and then we kicked it off in Q2. And indeed, there are so many agencies out there, and it was crazy to go over all of them. Well, not all of them, but yeah, having intro call, try to understand what they are offering, what is the best partner to kick off this pilot test. And for us, honestly, it was more a matter of going with a partner that could provide the best opportunity in terms of exploration, in terms of placement availability. So premium channels, I don't know, like Hulu, Paramount. I'm not talking about Netflix because it's too much. Disney Plus, it's really another level. But for a pilot test, we wanted someone like an agency or a partner that could allow us to run on this premium channel, that where we could test not only connected TV but linear TV as well. We wanted to understand where we could see the best opportunity, because it's true, connected TV does give you way better visibility on data and user coming through TV. You have better opportunity in terms of targeting, but on the other side, it's a bit more competitive. CPM is really high, so you have all these benefits, but you pay for them. And on the other side, linear TV, it's way cheaper. Way cheaper on one side. On the other, though, it's way harder to measure and track. But indeed, we wanted to. Sorry.
Yeah, you just launched, right, on this, so you can't really share anything about results or how you measure actually the success.
For measurement, the idea is to leverage either the internal modeling from the agency, so from the partner we are working with. So this is another factor that is important when you decide the partner to work with. We had a couple of calls with the data team, try to understand how precise are their approach to measuring TV. So I think it's really important. So I would say on one side we are gonna use their model, and on the other side we are gonna try to measure it internally. We are leveraging How Did You Hear About Us survey, which it's in the onboarding of Paired. We had had the option of TV with a breakdown of channel as well, and tried to diversify, to be able to measure either the impact from linear TV and connected TV. And also, I would say, these are the two main approaches. One is on How Did You Hear About Us, and the other is on the modeling from the company, from this partner we are working with. They are either providing measurement for connected TV that is based on IP matching between the data we are serving and the data they are getting from the network and channel. And when it comes to linear TV, it's all about uplift modeling, comparing the before and after when the linear TV ads goes live. So 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after, and then after 30 days, since we run the campaign, there is going to be another big analysis, try to see if there are any other delayed responses to TV. So there is a split between the two.
When you look at your decision matrix on when you think like, hey, let's take a big bet on a new channel, what would be your recommendation to other startups? At which point of scale they should start thinking about such things? Like, I can imagine most of the time people would try to nail it on Meta and spend as much as possible on Meta, TikTok, Apple search ads maybe. At which point would you say, okay, now start thinking about connected TV, for example? Is there some metric or some scale issue or something that you identify and say, okay, now let's go the other direction?
Yeah, I would say for Paired is a case on its own. It's like a corner case, because Paired, let me explain this better. Paired is a relationship care app for couples. It's a new vertical.
Yes. It always needs 2 people, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's always most of the time, I would say, even 3. But indeed, it's a new vertical. There are really few competitors out there, and based on install and revenue, we are the biggest one at the moment. But still, it's not enough. People don't know what relationship care app is. There is not yet a really established need out there. So when it came to explore the need of explore other channels, it wasn't only because of we reached our plateau on Meta or paid social. It was also the need of nurture and educate the audience, to invest more on awareness. Try to spread the word about Paired, about relationship care, why it's important, why should you invest there and take the time to connect with your partner. And for that reason, we started to invest more upper funnel on awareness, on channels that are more on awareness. They are really allow you to expand your reach. For example, TV, linear TV, you are reaching a huge audience out there. And it's more about that, and try, of course, to convert those users rather than just a need of diversify because of, like trying to find other way to scale. I would say it's a combination of the two for Paired. And influencer is one of the channel where not only TV, also influencer was another channel where we tried as more for this specific reason.
Interesting. Okay. Let's maybe switch topic very quick. You mentioned in the testing and exploration, you not only look at different channels and stuff, which is probably the low-hanging fruit, but you also look into different platforms like web to app or full web onboarding funnels. For those who are maybe new to this business in the audience, can you quickly elaborate what web to app means and what a web funnel really means to you?
Yeah, indeed. Web to app is when the user sees an ad click on the ad and lands on a simple landing page. Like it can be really simple as just a big button, say, download it now, or a bit more complex with illustration and everything. But indeed, the idea is to have the user going through this mid-stage, and then be redirected to the App Store. So we leverage the web page mainly for tracking purpose and to assess a different audience. Then the user take the main action still on the app side. When it comes to web onboarding, it's a bit different. It's more complex, it's a full product, but it gives you way more opportunity. Web onboarding means that the entire user journey onboarding happens on web. From the beginning till to the main action, which usually is either starting a trial or a purchase. And in this case, as I mentioned, it gives you way more flexibility in terms of personalization, in terms of monetization. It gives you a higher margin in terms of profits because you avoid all the fee coming from App Store and Play Store. It's not only about tracking and reaching a different audience, but indeed it's way more complex to kick it off.
Okay. What makes it so complex from your perspective? Is it the campaign setup itself, or because you have to measure in a different way versus app, or is it the product preparation, let's say, that you have to have a different payment flow and stuff?
Exactly. I think it's more about the product because you need to treat web onboarding as its own product. Like the app, same thing. You need to build something different. You need to bring the user through a journey, which it's always made by at least a 20-25 screen, and then you have the monetization at the end. So there is a lot you need to test there, either in terms of personalization, topic, message, the question itself, the quizzes, and then the monetization at the end, which is not only about the subscription option you have, is also about the win-back strategies, about the special offer. So indeed, it does require much more time, more testing, and yes, and also resources, I would say, and time.
Okay. Now that you're running this probably also since quite some time, what can you say about the results of a web-to-app setup in Paired?
Yeah, so we started almost a year ago now, and we are still optimizing. We are still in the phase of improving conversion rate, improving experience of the user. It doesn't never end, honestly. And it's been quite a journey, I think. We change a lot in terms of quizzes, question, monetization side, and I think now we are really close to the benchmark of the market in terms of conversion rate. The main struggle, let's say, and challenge we see at the moment is at the beginning of the funnel, when the user moves from the landing page to the next page. It's where we still need to make a bit of an improvement. The rest of the funnel, when the user moves from the second page onwards, we are still quite aligned. We have pretty decent conversion across the funnel, and in terms of even in terms of quality of the user we are bringing in, it's quite good in terms of LTV. We do see better results than what we see in app in terms of as well in retention and renew rate.
Okay, thanks for sharing, Jessica. You also talked about influencer acquisition and that you certainly have developed some kind of flow and system to acquire creators. Do you distinguish between creators that you then just use for paid reach, or do you also book regular influencers that give their organic reach?
No, I do differentiate the two. When I talk about influencer marketing, we are leveraging influencer because of their audience, their follower base, because of their relationship with the followers. That's how we split between influencer and creator. Creator, for us, is someone that is really good at video editing, video production, and they're providing content for us on the paid side.
Okay. And what is bigger for you in terms of, let's say, preparation, amount of work that you have to get content and actual output?
I think indeed the influencer marketing is where we are investing the most in terms of time and resources. For that reason, we are also relying on agency. I'm the one leading influencer marketing right now, looking for someone to take my place, just in case anyone want to apply. But indeed, it's a quite time-consuming project because indeed we are relying agency for negotiation, not scouting first, negotiation, onboarding, because it's the most time-consuming part of this project. And while the strategy and the data analysis and next step is still internally on our side, the performance marketer take the lead here. But indeed, it's a lot of work, and we have a strategy, let's say a 3-step strategy, in order for us to be as effective as possible when it comes to scaling influencer marketing. We have first phase, validation, identify what are the profitable vertical for us, considering that paired as a relationship getup is quite mainstream. Anyone, like, there is no a perfect fit out there. It's not only about vlog and family content. You can find couple everywhere there. People like female watching true crime. They're still in a relationship. They still have a family, so they are a good target for us. For that reason, we need to explore a lot in terms of vertical. So first phase is about validation. Keep exploring, keep testing new vertical, new influencer. Usually we try to go for the cheap deal, meaning that when it comes to exploration, we don't want to pay more than $20-25 CPM. Then the second phase is about, okay, let's say that we find a couple of promising vertical where we can scale. Then it's a matter of testing the influencer. So we want to test different CPM, different type of reach, from 500,000, like from 100K views to 500,000 to 1 million views, and see where we can indeed have success and find people to move to the next stage, which is exploitation or long-term partnership. I think that the most effective strategy is to be able to build long-term relationship with influencer, able to book them for multiple time over the year, and this would allow you in general to get better pricing and also to stick in their followers' mind, because one video, one sponsor content is not enough to change user mind, while it's important to be reminded and keep working with influencer in order to make this idea stick in their viewers or followers base.
You mentioned one interesting point here. We are not so much into influencer marketing. We do all the UGC creator stuff in Admiral Media, but in the past we tried a little bit, tested influencer marketing with the big reach guys and stuff. How is it at the moment for you? How do you usually sign contracts with influencers? Is it based on CPM? You mentioned you look at CPM prices. Or is CPA still a thing? Is it dead in the industry? How does that look like?
Honestly, especially when it comes to long form video, so when it comes to 60, 90 second sponsorship on YouTube and podcasts, for example, I never been able to come up with an offer or negotiate anything that was not based on CPM. That's that has been really, really hard for us. But indeed, the CPM base is what are the basic when it comes, the standard when it comes to YouTube and podcast. The only way to mitigate the risk is adding the minimum view granted term. So let's say that if within 30 days an influencer is not able to reach with his video at least 300K views, then they need to provide a make good video for free. This is the way, especially when it comes to big influencer, and when you take a risk with CPM above $20, $25, this is the best way to mitigate the risk in terms of profitability. When it comes to influencer on TikTok and Facebook, so short form video, there has been cases where I was able to negotiate based on CPI instead of CPM, but they are really rare. It was honestly, it was back in 2022. I was working with another agency back then, Jet Fuel. I don't think it's working anymore. But yeah, back then we were working on a CPI basis, onboarding like creator, micro. Honestly, more micro creator rather than micro creator, based on this deal. But yes, in general, I find it really, really hard, honestly.
You would say CPM is the way to go, or it's just industry standard now? But,
Yeah.
You mentioned the security layer of putting a minimum number of views on a video or something like that. I remember a long time ago, but I also wanted to understand how this works on Instagram and stuff, and I set up a fake profile. I've uploaded a bunch of photos, and then I've just went to some random website, buy Instagram views, and within a millisecond, I had 10,000 views on some content that I've just given to the website. Do you think this is a big risk even in those type of contracts, or is there a way to filter such fake engagement stuff, and how do you go about these things?
Good question. Honestly, indeed, when I analyze the influencers, so working with agency means that they are providing like a long list of potential influencers, and then you need to choose some of them. Okay. So I have every week like 50 new influencers to analyze. And of course, CPM is the first metric I keep an eye on. But then I check engagement. And this I always try to understand. I check their video. I check of course, if it's only about views and no comments, not saves and nothing, then I'm like, okay, something is wrong here. I want to see a good balance between views, likes, and comment especially. And also I give extra credit if the influencer engage with the content as well, with their user, like the followers, if they like the content, the comments, if they reply to the comments. So for me, it's really important. Secondly, I tend to even check fluctuation in terms of views over the channel. What is the tone of voice? What is the view trend? Is quite stable. There are like strong fluctuation. If there are strong fluctuation, I'm like, I'm worried. Maybe it's a bit of a risky deal to go ahead with. So I think it's really important to check and monitor the influencer before working with them.
Do you use some standardized tool or anything to analyze the stuff, or is it because the agency is provided in different formats, different links, whatever, you always have to go through that manually? Second question is, do you leverage AI for this historic data analysis, or is it, again, just a manual check?
Yeah, for now it's manual check, especially when it comes to YouTube and podcast. The only way I leverage right now AI is mainly for reputation check. So yeah, because it's critical, especially for paid. It's important to understand the influencer you work with. So what I ask ChatGPT to analyze a specific influencer and content, even on internet, Reddit, Quora, if there is anything about this influencer, if there is any critical risk to work with them for paired. Because it did happen in the past. It did happen. One time we did go live with an influencer, and after the collaboration, after a few weeks, we received so many negative comments, especially through the customer support from existing user in the app. Because indeed there was something in this influencer background, the history that wasn't really aligned with paired brand. So since then, I learned my lesson, and now I always check with ChatGPT.
Interesting.
But indeed, for now, it's quite manual.
So you basically have a prompt, like go through all the different social media networks where you try to find that influencer. Is there something that doesn't align with my brand positioning? Okay.
Yeah. It's quite useful when it comes to podcast and YouTube, because there you have really long format content that usually the influencer really speak about specific topic, or the content, the vertical itself is about a specific topic, and it could be true crime, because it could be commentary, it could be gossip, but it's all about that, and they bring their own opinion in the video. So yeah, I want to be sure that those opinions, those interest, they are quite aligned with.
Makes sense. Okay.
But indeed, it's really manual. But I'm open to explore AI tools. I think it's gonna be really key for us to try to make this process way more efficient. Honestly, I didn't have much time to explore this opportunity, but yeah, it's gonna be the case for the future.
I'm sure there probably is already something out there. If not, there's probably someone building something. We in Admiral use AI now. I just recently had a LinkedIn post where I was sharing how we are using AI to automate static production. And then we also use AI, talking about UGC creators, how we automate the research, like build me a long list of lookalike creators from the seed creator database that I have. And then we combine this with additional information that we find on the web about those. And then we make a personalized outreach. Hey, do you want to promote our client's product, our client's app? With a personalized, also AI created email or direct message on the platform.
Super interesting.
So this is something that helps us a lot to super scale the foundation, let's say. And then it still needs human interaction in some way once you get some feedback, obviously. But it's definitely something that helps us to scale much faster and get a lot of positive feedback. It even increased the response rate on the UGC outreach.
That's indeed, it's where we found the biggest challenge at the beginning when we were looking for creator manually, like reaching out. It's the response rate is way below 1%. So no, that will be really helpful, especially to boost the creative production. Right now, we are using a couple of platforms that make us in touch with creator. Because indeed, manual.
It's probably the other way around, that you post like an offer. Hey, do
exactly.
you want to promote?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So you have like you share the brief, you share about pair, the brief, and you have like a fixed price, and then creator apply to this job.
It's probably a different quality of creators that is applying for it. The ones that do not get enough jobs, probably, and the ones that are really good.
Exactly.
They are just overloaded with okay.
Exactly. That's the problem. So for that reason, we also have different platforms. It's not just one, but it's like multiple of them. Because as you mentioned, it's all about the quality as well. People applying for this task. So yeah.
Okay.
could be indeed an
Jessica,
interesting tool to explore. Yours.
Thank you very much for the talk today, Jessica. I think we've covered a lot of topics. We jumped a little bit between the different ones, but that is how it is sometimes. I'm happy you were able to follow my train of thought sometimes, even though it might be confusing. To the audience, if you guys have questions, want to have a follow-up, dive deeper into a certain topic, I'm sure Jessica would be happy to connect on LinkedIn and answer a few of your questions. Otherwise, put your thoughts in the comments if you have a completely different idea how this should work and what we discussed, or what your experiences are. And otherwise, happy to win you as a listener for the next episode, which will be out very soon. So thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Peace out.
Thank you.
We're here to boost your growth, marketing tips, fun and chats.